Hello, everyone. Welcome to the English Globe podcast. I'm Adam, and I'm glad you're here. Today, we have an important question to discuss. Can you learn English without a teacher? In the past, people needed teachers to guide them, but now things are different. We have new technology, apps, and online resources. So, is a teacher still necessary, or can you learn on your own? Let's explore this together. And as always, Julia is here with me.
Hi, Adam. Hi, everyone. I'm excited about this topic because many people ask this question. Some believe a teacher is necessary, while others think self-learning is enough. In 2025, we have many tools, language apps, online courses, and even AI tutors. But do they replace a real teacher? Or is personal guidance still important? Today, we'll look at both sides and help our listeners understand the best way to learn English.
That's right, Julia. Years ago, most people learned English in a classroom with a teacher. But today, we have more choices. Some people learn through YouTube, podcasts, or even chatting with AI programs. But does that work as well as learning with a teacher? Are there any challenges to studying alone? We'll answer these questions and share the best ways to learn English in today's world.
Yes. And if you're someone who is learning English right now, this episode is perfect for you. Maybe you are studying alone and wondering if you're doing it right. Or maybe you're thinking about taking a class, but are not sure if it's necessary. Don't worry, we'll discuss everything. By the end of this episode, you'll have a clear idea of whether you need a teacher or not. So, stay with us, and let's get started.
For many years, the traditional way of learning English has been through formal education. People would attend schools, sit in classrooms, and follow structured lessons taught by professional teachers. These teachers would guide students step by step, explaining grammar rules, improving pronunciation, and providing feedback on mistakes. Learning English in a classroom setting also meant having textbooks, assignments, and exams to track progress. Schools created an organized learning environment where students could practice with classmates, ask questions, and receive corrections in real time. This system has worked well for many people, as it provides discipline and a clear path to improvement. But with the rise of technology and self-learning resources, many are now questioning whether this traditional approach is still necessary.
That's an interesting point, Adam. While classroom learning has been the standard for a long time, not everyone has the opportunity to attend formal English classes. Some people may not have access to good teachers, while others might not have the time or money to enroll in language courses. This is where self-learning comes into the picture. Many learners today rely on online resources like YouTube videos, mobile apps, audiobooks, and podcasts, just like this one, to improve their English skills. They practice on their own, using digital tools to learn new words, improve pronunciation, and even develop their listening and speaking abilities. But the big question is, can someone truly reach fluency without a teacher? Or will they always miss something important without guidance?
That's a great question, Julia. Learning English without a teacher can be challenging because a teacher does more than just provide lessons. They give structure to learning. Many English learners struggle to stay consistent, especially when they don't have a teacher to guide them. A teacher can set clear goals, assign exercises, and help students stay motivated. More importantly, teachers correct mistakes. If a learner is studying alone, they might not realize they are making errors in grammar, pronunciation, or sentence structure. Over time, these mistakes can become habits, which can be difficult to fix later. Without a teacher, learners have to rely on themselves to notice and correct their errors, which is not always easy.
That's true, Adam. But at the same time, self-learners have the advantage of flexibility. When someone studies alone, they can choose what to focus on and learn at their own pace. For example, if someone struggles with listening skills, they can spend more time watching English movies and listening to podcasts. If they want to improve their vocabulary, they can read books and articles in English. Unlike in a classroom, where everyone follows the same lessons, self-learners have the freedom to customize their learning experience based on their interests and needs. However, without a teacher, some learners might feel lost or unsure about what to study next. That's why finding the right learning strategy is so important.
Absolutely, Julia. Another thing to consider is that teachers provide motivation and encouragement. Many people lose confidence when learning a new language, especially when they make mistakes or struggle to understand something. A good teacher not only corrects mistakes, but also supports students and helps them keep going. Without that support, some learners might give up too soon. But at the same time, some people are naturally self-motivated. They enjoy learning on their own, setting their own goals, and pushing themselves to improve. For these learners, a teacher may not be necessary because they already have the discipline to study consistently.
Yes, and this is why the answer to our question is not simple. Whether someone can learn English without a teacher depends on their learning style, discipline, and access to good resources. Some people thrive in structured classroom environments with teachers, while others prefer independent study. The key is to find a balance, using self-learning tools while also seeking guidance when needed. In the next part of our discussion, we will talk about the role of technology in 2025 and how it has changed the way people learn English.
Now that we've talked about traditional learning with teachers, let's shift our focus to something equally important: self-learning. Over the years, more and more people have started to learn English by themselves, without attending formal classes or having a personal teacher. Thanks to modern technology, self-learners have access to an incredible number of resources that make learning easier than ever. Some people prefer reading English books and newspapers to expand their vocabulary, while others take online courses to learn grammar and sentence structure. Language learning apps, like Duolingo and Babbel, provide interactive exercises to improve reading, writing, listening, and speaking skills. Then there are YouTube videos, audiobooks, and podcasts, just like the one you're listening to right now, where learners can hear native speakers and practice their listening skills. With so many options available, it's clear that English learning is no longer limited to the classroom. But does self-learning really work? And what are its biggest advantages?
That's a great question, Adam. One of the biggest advantages of self-learning is flexibility. When you study on your own, you have complete control over your learning schedule. You don't have to follow a fixed timetable like in a traditional classroom. Instead, you can choose when and where to study. If you're busy during the day, you can study at night. If you prefer learning in the morning, you can create a routine that fits your lifestyle. This is especially useful for people who work full-time or have family responsibilities. Another major benefit is the ability to learn at your own pace. In a classroom, students must follow the same lessons, even if some learn faster or slower than others. But when you're studying by yourself, you can spend extra time on difficult topics and move quickly through things you already understand. This personalized approach makes learning much more effective.
That's true, Julia. Another advantage of self-learning is that it allows learners to focus on their personal interests. For example, if someone loves watching movies, they can use English subtitles to improve their listening and comprehension skills. If they enjoy reading, they can start with simple books and gradually move on to more advanced ones. Some learners practice speaking by recording themselves or using language exchange platforms to talk with native speakers. Others prefer writing daily journals or blogs in English to improve their writing skills. The key is to find enjoyable ways to practice the language, which helps learners stay motivated and engaged. Unlike traditional learning, where students must follow a structured curriculum, self-learning gives them the freedom to choose their own methods.
Exactly, Adam. And let's not forget about technology. In 2025, learning English has become easier than ever because of advanced tools like AI-powered tutors, interactive apps, and virtual language exchange programs. There are now AI chatbots that can hold conversations with learners, helping them practice speaking in real time. Some platforms even provide instant grammar corrections and pronunciation feedback. Online communities and forums allow learners to connect with people from all over the world, making it easier to practice with native speakers. With so many digital resources available, self-learning has never been more accessible. The important thing is for learners to use the right combination of tools and strategies that work best for them.
That's a great point, Julia. And to prove that self-learning can be successful, let's talk about some real-life examples of people who became fluent in English without attending traditional classes. One famous example is Benny Lewis, an Irish polyglot who taught himself multiple languages, including English, through immersion and daily practice. He focused on speaking from day one, using conversation-based methods rather than formal study. Another inspiring story is of YouTuber Luca Lampariello, who learned English, and several other languages, by practicing consistently with native speakers and using self-study techniques. Then there are thousands of everyday learners around the world who have successfully mastered English by using online resources, watching videos, reading books, and engaging in conversations. These success stories prove that while having a teacher can be helpful, it is not the only way to become fluent.
That's so inspiring, Adam. It shows that with dedication, discipline, and the right resources, anyone can learn English on their own. However, it's important to mention that self-learning requires a lot of motivation and consistency. Unlike a classroom, where a teacher guides and pushes students to stay on track, self-learners must manage their own progress. This means setting goals, staying disciplined, and overcoming challenges without external support. For some people, this can be difficult, especially if they struggle with motivation. But for those who enjoy learning independently, it can be an exciting and rewarding journey.
That's right, Julia. Self-learning may not be the perfect solution for everyone, but it is definitely a powerful way to learn English. The best part is that learners can mix different methods to create a study plan that works best for them. Some may choose to learn completely on their own, while others may combine self-study with occasional lessons from a tutor. The key is to stay consistent, keep practicing, and find enjoyable ways to engage with the language. In our next section, we'll dive deeper into the role of technology in 2025 and how AI and digital tools are making English learning even more effective. Technology has completely changed the way people learn English, and in 2025, it's more advanced than ever. In the past, students relied on books, teachers, and traditional classrooms, but today, we have an incredible range of digital tools that make learning English easier, faster, and more accessible. One of the biggest breakthroughs in recent years has been artificial intelligence, or AI. AI-powered tutors and chatbots are now able to have real conversations with learners, correct their grammar, improve pronunciation, and even suggest better ways to express ideas. These AI tools provide instant feedback, which is something that used to be possible only with a human teacher. Imagine having a personal English tutor available 24/7, answering your questions, practicing conversations with you, and helping you with difficult words and phrases, all without needing a classroom or a teacher. This is exactly what AI-powered learning tools are offering today.
That's absolutely right, Adam. AI has made language learning more interactive and personalized. Unlike traditional classes where teachers follow the same curriculum for all students, AI-based learning platforms adapt to each learner's individual needs. For example, if someone struggles with listening comprehension, AI programs can provide more listening exercises tailored to their level. If someone needs help with pronunciation, AI tutors can analyze their speech and give detailed corrections. These tools use voice recognition technology to help learners sound more natural and confident when speaking English. One of the best parts about AI tutors is that they remove the fear of making mistakes. Many English learners feel shy or nervous when speaking with native speakers because they worry about saying something wrong. But with AI, they can practice in a comfortable and pressure-free environment, improving their skills without embarrassment.
Exactly, Julia. And AI-powered chatbots are another fantastic way to practice English. In 2025, These chatbots have become so advanced that they can simulate real conversations with learners. You can chat with them as if you're talking to a friend, and they will respond naturally, keeping the conversation going. Some chatbots are even designed to teach specific topics, such as travel English, business English, or daily conversations. This allows learners to practice real-life situations without needing a teacher or language partner. And let's not forget about virtual tutors, AI-powered teachers who can provide structured lessons, quizzes, and even personalized study plans based on a learner's progress. These virtual tutors can track mistakes, offer corrections, and help learners stay on the right path. The level of detail and personalization these tools provide is incredible, making self-learning more effective than ever before.
That's true, Adam. But AI is just one part of the technology revolution in language learning. Another powerful tool is video-based learning, especially platforms like YouTube. In 2025, YouTube is filled with high-quality English learning channels that provide free lessons on vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, and even cultural aspects of the language. Some channels use storytelling methods, others focus on real-life conversations, and some offer interactive exercises to engage learners. The great thing about YouTube is that learners can choose lessons that match their level and interests. They can watch native speakers in action, learn how real conversations happen, and even follow subtitles to improve their listening and reading skills. Unlike a classroom where you have limited time with a teacher, YouTube allows learners to pause, rewind, and repeat lessons as many times as they need.
That's a great point, Julia. And podcasts, like the one we're doing right now, are also a fantastic resource for learners. Many English learners struggle with listening comprehension because spoken English is often faster and less structured than written English. By listening to podcasts regularly, learners can improve their ability to understand natural speech, different accents, and common phrases used in everyday conversations. The best part about podcasts is that they can be listened to anytime, anywhere, while commuting, cooking, exercising, or even before going to bed. They provide a great way to practice English in a relaxed and convenient way. And in 2025, many podcasts are now AI-enhanced, meaning they offer interactive features where listeners can ask questions, get explanations, and even practice speaking along with the audio.
Yes, and online learning platforms have also become more advanced. Platforms like Coursera, Udemy, and edX now offer full English courses taught by expert instructors. Many of these courses use AI to provide instant feedback on writing and speaking exercises. These platforms also allow learners to connect with students from all over the world, making it easier to practice English with real people. And then there are mobile apps like Duolingo, Babbel, and Rosetta Stone, which have improved a lot in 2025. These apps now use AI to track a learner's progress and suggest personalized lessons. Some even use augmented reality AR to create immersive learning experiences where users can interact with virtual objects and practice vocabulary in a more engaging way.
That's right, Julia. Another exciting development is the use of virtual reality, VR, in language learning. VR technology allows learners to step into a virtual world where they can practice English in real-life situations. Imagine putting on a VR headset and suddenly finding yourself in a virtual cafe in London where you have to order food and interact with waiters in English. Or stepping into a virtual classroom where you can participate in discussions with AI-powered classmates. This kind of immersive learning helps learners build confidence and improve their speaking skills in a natural way. With VR and AI combined, the experience of learning English has become more interactive and realistic than ever before.
It's amazing how far technology has come. And the best part is that these tools make English learning accessible to everyone. In the past, learning a language often required expensive classes or traveling to an English-speaking country. But now, with AI tutors, chatbots, YouTube, podcasts, and interactive apps, anyone can learn English from the comfort of their home. Whether someone is a complete beginner or an advanced learner, there are tools available to help them improve. However, while technology provides great support, learners still need discipline and motivation to practice regularly. The best results come when learners use technology in a smart way, combining different resources to create a well-rounded learning experience.
Exactly. Technology is a powerful tool, but success in learning English still depends on consistency, practice, and a strong learning plan. Whether someone chooses AI tutors, YouTube videos, podcasts, or language apps, the most important thing is to stay engaged and keep learning every day. In our next section, we'll discuss the challenges of learning without a teacher and the common mistakes self-learners make. So far, we've talked about the benefits of self-learning and the amazing tools available in 2025 that make learning English easier. But we also need to be realistic. Learning without a teacher comes with challenges. One of the biggest difficulties is staying motivated. When you attend a class with a teacher, you have a schedule, assignments, and deadlines that keep you on track. But when you study alone, no one is there to push you. It's easy to lose motivation, especially when progress feels slow. Many learners start with excitement, but after a few weeks or months, they lose interest and stop practicing. Without a teacher to check their progress and keep them accountable, they may struggle to stay consistent.
That's true, Adam. Motivation is one of the biggest challenges for self-learners. In a classroom, teachers encourage students, praise their improvements, and give them a sense of achievement. But when you're learning alone, it's easy to feel like you're not making progress, even if you actually are. Some learners get discouraged when they don't understand something or when they make the same mistakes repeatedly. Without a teacher to guide them, they might feel stuck and unsure of how to improve. That's why many self-learners give up too soon. They don't have anyone to remind them that learning a language takes time and that mistakes are a natural part of the process.
Exactly, Julia. Another major challenge is the lack of corrections. In a classroom, a teacher listens to your speaking, reads your writing, and corrects your mistakes. They explain grammar rules, improve pronunciation, and help you use words correctly. But when you're learning alone, you might not realize you're making mistakes. If no one corrects you, those mistakes can become habits that are hard to fix later. For example, someone might keep using incorrect verb tenses or mispronouncing certain words without knowing it. Over time, these errors can affect their confidence and fluency.
That's a great point, Adam. Teachers don't just correct mistakes, they also provide structure. One of the hardest parts of self-learning is knowing what to study next. In a classroom, teachers follow a curriculum. They start with the basics and gradually move to more advanced topics in a logical order. But when you learn alone, it's easy to jump from one thing to another without a clear plan. Some learners spend too much time memorizing vocabulary but don't practice speaking. Others focus on grammar rules but don't listen to enough spoken English. Without structure, learning can feel confusing and unorganized. That's why self-learners need to create their own study plans to stay on track.
That's right, Julia. And let's not forget about speaking practice. In a classroom, students get to practice speaking with their teacher and classmates. But self-learners often struggle to find speaking opportunities. Even if they watch videos, use apps, and read books, they may not get enough practice actually using the language. Speaking is one of the most important skills, and without regular practice, it's hard to improve. Some learners understand English well but feel nervous when they try to speak because they haven't practiced enough. Others worry about making mistakes, so they avoid speaking altogether.
That's a common issue, Adam. Many self-learners know a lot of vocabulary and grammar, but they struggle with confidence when speaking. They might think, what if I say something wrong? Or, what if people don't understand me? This fear of making mistakes can slow down progress. In a classroom, teachers create a safe environment where students can practice speaking without fear. But self-learners need to find ways to build confidence on their own. One good strategy is to practice speaking out loud every day, even if you're alone. You can describe your day, talk about your thoughts, or even repeat sentences from books and podcasts. The more you speak, the more comfortable you'll become.
That's a great tip, Julia. Another challenge is feeling isolated. In a classroom, students can interact with their teacher and classmates, ask questions, and get immediate answers. But when you're learning alone, you don't have that support system. You might feel lonely or frustrated when you don't understand something. Some learners give up because they feel like they're on their own, with no one to help them. That's why it's important for self-learners to connect with other learners and English speakers. Joining online language communities, finding a language partner, or participating in discussion forums can help make learning less lonely and more interactive.
Yes, and that brings us to one of the most important topics. How can self-learners stay motivated and overcome these challenges? One of the best ways is to set clear goals. Instead of saying, "I want to learn English," set specific and achievable goals, like "I will learn 10 new words every day," or "I will watch one English video with subtitles every night." Small goals make learning feel more manageable and give you a sense of achievement. Also, tracking progress is important. Keeping a journal, recording your speaking practice, or taking online tests can help you see how much you've improved. When you see progress, it boosts motivation and keeps you going.
That's a fantastic tip, Julia. Another way to stay motivated is to make learning fun. Many people think of language learning as something serious and difficult, but it doesn't have to be. If you enjoy watching movies, watch them in English. If you love music, listen to English songs and try to understand the lyrics. If you like video games, play them in English. Finding enjoyable ways to learn makes it easier to stay consistent. Learning a language should feel exciting, not like a boring task.
Exactly. And self-learners should also find ways to practice regularly. Consistency is key. It's better to study a little bit every day than to study a lot once a week and then stop. Creating a daily routine, even if it's just 15 or 30 minutes, helps keep learning a habit. And if you ever feel unmotivated, remind yourself why you started learning English in the first place. Maybe you want to travel, get a better job, or communicate with people from different countries. Keeping your goal in mind will help you stay focused and keep going, even when learning feels difficult.
That's such an important point, Julia. Learning without a teacher can be challenging, but it's absolutely possible with the right mindset and strategies. Yes, you might struggle with motivation, you might not get corrections, and you might feel lost sometimes. But if you set goals, track progress, stay consistent, and find ways to make learning fun, you can overcome these challenges. And remember, even though you don't have a traditional teacher, technology in 2025 has made it easier than ever to get guidance and support.
That's right, Adam. And for anyone who is learning English on their own, just remember, you are not alone. There are millions of other learners just like you, and there are so many tools and resources available to help you succeed. Keep practicing, keep pushing yourself, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Mistakes are part of the learning journey.
Absolutely, Julia. In our next section, we'll talk about the best learning strategies for self-learners and how to create an effective study plan. Now that we've talked about the challenges of learning English without a teacher, let's focus on solutions. If you're learning English on your own, you need the right strategies to stay on track and make progress. The good news is that with so many resources available in 2025, self-learners have more opportunities than ever to improve their skills. But just having resources isn't enough. You need a clear plan. One of the best strategies is to set specific goals. Instead of saying, "I want to improve my English," try something more focused, like, "I will learn 10 new words every day," or "I will practice speaking for 15 minutes every morning." Setting small, achievable goals keeps you motivated and helps you track your progress.
That's such an important point, Adam. Without a plan, it's easy to feel lost or overwhelmed. That's why creating a structured study plan is essential for self-learners. A good study plan should include all 4 language skills: speaking, listening, reading, and writing. For example, you could spend Monday focusing on listening, Tuesday on speaking, Wednesday on reading, and Thursday on writing. Or, if you prefer, you could practice all 4 skills every day for shorter periods. The key is consistency. Even 30 minutes of practice every day is more effective than studying for hours once a week and then forgetting everything.
Exactly, Julia. And let's talk about how to practice each skill effectively. Let's start with speaking, since it's one of the hardest skills for self-learners. Many people worry about speaking because they don't have a teacher or language partner to practice with. But there are ways to improve speaking, even if you're learning alone. One great technique is shadowing, listening to a native speaker and repeating exactly what they say, copying their pronunciation and intonation. You can do this with podcasts, audiobooks, or YouTube videos. Another method is self-talk, simply speaking out loud in English about your day, your thoughts, or anything you want. The more you speak, the more confident you'll become.
That's right. And another great way to improve speaking is to record yourself. Many learners don't realize how they sound until they listen to their own voice. Recording yourself speaking, then listening and analyzing your mistakes can be a powerful way to improve pronunciation and fluency. And of course, if possible, finding a speaking partner is always helpful. In 2025, there are so many apps that connect language learners from different countries. Apps like HelloTalk, Tandem, and Speaky allow you to chat with native speakers or other learners. Even AI-powered chatbots can simulate real conversations, giving you practice anytime you want.
That's a great tip, Julia. Now, let's talk about listening practice. Many learners struggle with listening because spoken English is often fast, with connected speech and different accents. One of the best ways to improve listening is to start with slow and clear audio, like beginner-friendly podcasts or audiobooks. Once you feel comfortable, you can move on to faster and more natural speech, like movies, TV shows, and real conversations. Another effective technique is active listening, where you don't just listen, but try to catch key words, repeat phrases, or even write down what you hear. Some learners also use subtitles at first, then listen again without subtitles to test their understanding.
That's a smart approach, Adam. And since we're talking about listening, I want to mention immersive listening, surrounding yourself with English as much as possible. Even if you're doing daily activities like cooking, exercising, or driving, you can listen to English in the background. The more exposure you get, the more natural the language will feel. Another tip is listening to the same content multiple times. The first time, you might not understand everything, but after the second or third time, you'll start recognizing words and phrases more easily. This method really helps with comprehension.
That's a fantastic technique, Julia. Now let's move on to reading. Reading is one of the best ways to expand your vocabulary and understand sentence structures. But the key is to read materials that match your level. Many learners make the mistake of starting with difficult books, which can be frustrating. Instead, graded readers, books written for language learners, are a great option. Websites like News in Levels provide news articles in different difficulty levels, so learners can gradually improve. Another useful method is reading with a purpose. Instead of just reading passively, try to find new words, underline important sentences, and even write summaries of what you read.
That's a great point, Adam. And let's not forget about digital reading. In 2025, there are so many ebooks and online articles available for learners. Apps like LingQ and Bilingwap allow you to read stories in both English and your native language, making it easier to understand new words. A fun way to improve reading is to read subtitles while watching movies or TV shows. This helps learners see how words are used in real conversations. And of course, reading isn't just about books. Reading social media posts, blogs, and even comments in English can be a great way to expose yourself to real everyday language.
That's so true, Julia. Now, let's move on to writing. Writing is often ignored by self-learners, but it's a critical skill. One simple way to practice writing is keeping a daily journal in English. Even if you just write a few sentences about your day, it helps you organize your thoughts and improve sentence structure. Another effective technique is writing summaries. After watching a video or reading an article, try to write a short summary in your own words. This improves comprehension and helps you remember new vocabulary.
That's a great exercise, Adam. And for those who want corrections, many online tools can help. In 2025, AI-powered writing assistants like Grammarly and Quillbot provide instant feedback on grammar, spelling, and even writing style. These tools help learners recognize their mistakes and improve over time. Another tip is participating in online forums or discussion groups where you can write comments and interact with other English speakers. Writing emails, social media posts, or even short stories in English can also be a fun way to practice. The key is to write regularly and not be afraid of making mistakes.
That's such an important message, Julia. Mistakes are part of learning. And to wrap up this section, let's summarize the best strategies for self-learning English. Set clear goals. Be specific about what you want to achieve. Create a study plan. Balance speaking, listening, reading, and writing. Practice speaking daily. Use shadowing, self-talk, recording, and language exchange apps. Improve listening skills. Listen actively, use subtitles, and immerse yourself in English audio. Read regularly. Start with graded readers, use online tools, and read subtitles. Write often. Keep a journal, write summaries, and use AI writing assistants.
That's a perfect summary, Adam. The most important thing is to stay consistent. Learning English without a teacher is possible, but it requires discipline, curiosity, and patience. The good news is that technology in 2025 makes self-learning more effective than ever. If learners use the right strategies and stay motivated, they can achieve fluency on their own.
Absolutely. And in the next section, we'll discuss how to measure your progress and know if you're improving. Now that we've explored the benefits and challenges of self-learning, it's time to consider the bigger question. Should you learn English with a teacher, or can you do it all on your own? This is a question that many learners struggle with, especially in 2025, when so many resources are available to help you learn independently. The truth is that both self-learning and guided learning have their distinct advantages, and often, the best approach is a combination of both. There are times when having a teacher can significantly speed up your progress, but there are also moments when learning without a teacher might be all you need. Julia, what do you think about this? When is it really important to have a teacher in the learning process?
That's such a crucial question, Adam. I believe having a teacher is particularly helpful when you're just starting your English journey. When you're a complete beginner, everything can seem overwhelming. There's so much new vocabulary, so many rules, and it's difficult to know where to start. A teacher can help you break things down into manageable pieces. They can guide you step by step through the foundational grammar and vocabulary so you don't feel lost. Plus, having a teacher allows you to get immediate feedback, which is really important when you're learning the basics. A teacher can catch errors you might not even notice, like pronunciation mistakes or grammar misuses, and correct them right away, which is something self-learners might miss out on. Additionally, a teacher can offer much-needed motivation, especially in the beginning stages. The regular interaction and structure of lessons help you stay focused and make steady progress.
I completely agree, Julia. A teacher is invaluable when you're starting, especially because they provide structure. It's easy to get distracted or overwhelmed when you're learning independently, but with a teacher, there's a clear roadmap to follow. They lay out what you need to learn in a logical order, so you can build your skills step by step. For example, when you're just starting to learn English, focusing on basic vocabulary, simple grammar, and proper pronunciation is essential, and a teacher will ensure you cover all of those foundational areas systematically. This structure helps you avoid wasting time on advanced topics that may not be necessary at the beginning. Moreover, a teacher can address any doubts you have in real time, offering explanations and examples, which might be hard to get on your own through online resources. So, when you're struggling with understanding a difficult concept, a teacher can step in and clarify things, giving you that one-on-one attention you wouldn't typically get with apps or online courses.
Yes, Adam. And the guidance a teacher provides goes beyond just teaching grammar or vocabulary. They can also help develop your learning strategy. One of the struggles of self-learning is figuring out the best way to study. With a teacher, they can not only teach you the language, but also help you identify your strengths and weaknesses. They can adjust your study plan based on your personal needs. For example, some students might struggle more with listening comprehension, while others might need more help with writing. A teacher can tailor lessons to address these specific areas, ensuring you make progress in all aspects of the language. Moreover, a teacher creates a learning routine for you, setting homework, assigning exercises, and giving you regular tests. These tasks help reinforce what you've learned and ensure you're staying on track.
Exactly. The role of a teacher is also vital when it comes to maintaining accountability. When you're learning independently, it's easy to procrastinate or lose motivation, especially when you don't see immediate results. A teacher, on the other hand, provides that extra push. They set clear expectations for you, and you know that you're going to have to show up to class or submit assignments, which keeps you motivated. For many people, the presence of a teacher acts as a kind of motivation anchor. It's easier to stick to a schedule when there's someone else holding you accountable. This external motivation can be a huge benefit when you're at risk of losing momentum.
That's absolutely true, Adam. And even though a teacher offers structure and accountability, there are also times when self-learning can be more effective. After all, in 2025, there are countless tools and resources that allow you to learn English on your own, at your own pace. Self-learning gives you the freedom to dive deep into areas that interest you or match your learning style. For example, if you enjoy watching movies or reading, you can integrate those activities into your daily study routine, making the learning experience more enjoyable and natural. Moreover, in today's digital world, there are apps, websites, podcasts, and YouTube channels, many of which are free, that can offer you a great deal of learning material without needing a teacher at all. It's possible to have interactive listening, speaking, reading, and writing practice, all from the comfort of your home. You can customize your study routine to fit your specific needs and preferences. For some learners, this flexibility is key to their success, especially when they have busy schedules or prefer to learn at night rather than during the day.
I completely agree with you, Julia. Self-learning provides a level of freedom that isn't possible with a teacher. When you study alone, you decide what you want to learn and when you want to learn it. If you're more interested in speaking and listening, you can focus on those skills. If you're passionate about reading and writing, you can dedicate more time to those. With self-learning, you're the captain of your own ship, steering it wherever you want to go. Plus, as we discussed earlier, technology plays a huge role in self-study today. With AI-powered tools, language learning apps, and interactive chatbots, you can have personalized lessons, instant feedback, and even speaking practice, all without needing to rely on a teacher. This technology allows you to tailor your learning experience to your exact needs, and in many cases, it's available at a lower cost than traditional classes.
Exactly, Adam. And with so many online communities, language exchanges, and social media groups, self-learners can still connect with others who are learning English. So even though they don't have a teacher physically in front of them, they can still get that peer support and share experiences with fellow learners. Self-learners can join online discussions, ask questions, and get advice from people around the world, which helps recreate the interactive social aspect of learning that we find in a classroom. And the best part is, you don't have to wait for a class or a lesson to start learning. If you feel like studying at 3 a.m. or on a weekend, you can do so.
That's such an important advantage, Julia, the flexibility that comes with self-learning. But let's be clear, self-learning doesn't mean that you can't still get help when you need it. There are plenty of resources, from online courses to tutoring services where you can reach out for guidance if you feel stuck. It's about finding the balance between structured learning and independent study. Sometimes you might find that you need a teacher for a short period to get past a specific obstacle, and other times, you might be perfectly fine studying on your own for weeks at a time. The best approach is to experiment with both methods and see which works best for you.
Absolutely, Adam. There is no one-size-fits-all answer. Every learner is different, and what works for one person might not work for another. The key is to experiment with both methods, figure out what suits your learning style, and then blend them together in a way that works for you. Don't be afraid to try new approaches, whether that means seeking a teacher for certain topics or going it alone when you feel confident enough. The most important thing is to keep learning, stay motivated, and find the balance that will help you succeed in your English journey.
Well said, Julia. And remember, whether you choose to learn with a teacher or go the self-learning route, the journey is yours to shape. Try different methods, stay consistent, and above all, enjoy the process. In our next section, we'll talk about how to measure your progress and track improvements as you go along. One of the biggest challenges many learners face, whether they're studying with a teacher or on their own, is staying consistent and motivated. Learning a language is a long journey, and there are moments when it can feel like you're not making progress as quickly as you'd like. Julia, staying motivated is a struggle for a lot of people, especially when there's no teacher to push them forward. What advice do you have for listeners on how to keep that motivation up over time?
That's such an important topic, Adam. Learning English, or any language, can sometimes feel like an uphill battle. It's not always about learning new vocabulary or grammar rules. Often it's about sticking with it. One of the best ways to stay motivated is to set clear, achievable goals. When you're learning without a teacher, you don't have someone constantly checking in on your progress, so you need to set your own checkpoints. Start with small goals, like learning 10 new words a day or completing one lesson on an app each morning, and gradually increase them. When you achieve these goals, it'll give you a sense of accomplishment and keep you motivated to continue. For example, you can aim to be able to hold a basic conversation in English after 3 months, or understand a short English news article after a month of practice.
I love that, Julia. Setting small, achievable goals is key to building momentum. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by the idea of mastering an entire language, but when you break it down into smaller steps, it feels much more manageable. Another thing that can help keep motivation high is tracking your progress. When you're learning on your own, it can be hard to see how far you've come. But if you regularly look back at where you started, maybe by recording your voice, writing short essays, or tracking your speaking time, it helps you see how much you've improved. Sometimes, just hearing your own voice speaking English can be a huge motivator. It's a reminder that, even though it's a slow process, you are moving forward.
Exactly, Adam. And you don't have to do this alone either. Surround yourself with a supportive community, whether it's an online group, a language exchange partner, or even just friends who speak English. Being part of a community can help you stay motivated. These people can encourage you, answer questions, and share their own learning experiences. You'll also find it easier to stick to your study plan when you have others to share your progress with. Sometimes, just knowing that other people are on the same journey can be a huge motivator.
That's such a great point, Julia. Being part of a community can also help you stay accountable. If you know you've promised someone you'll study a certain amount of time every week, or that you'll share your progress in a group, it pushes you to stay on track. And for those learning alone, it can also be helpful to use language exchange platforms. There are apps where you can connect with native English speakers and help them learn your language while they help you with English. This way, you can practice speaking and listening, and you also have a built-in support system.
Yes, exactly. And another way to stay motivated is to celebrate small victories along the way. Maybe you learned a new phrase or understood a podcast in English without subtitles. Celebrate that success. Give yourself a little reward for staying consistent. These celebrations don't have to be big. Maybe treat yourself to your favorite snack or take a break and watch an English movie. Recognizing your own hard work boosts your confidence and reminds you that you're making progress. It also helps you stay positive, especially on days when learning feels a bit harder.
I couldn't agree more. A little self-reward system goes a long way. Motivation isn't just about big milestones. It's about appreciating the small wins, too. Another strategy to keep up motivation is to mix things up a bit. Sometimes doing the same type of study routine over and over can get boring. If you're only using one app or reading the same textbook every day, you might start feeling burnt out. So, try adding variety. Watch English movies or series, listen to English songs, or join online discussions. If you mix different methods of learning, it'll keep things fresh and exciting.
Absolutely, Adam. That variety is so important. If you keep things interesting, you won't burn out. Plus, enjoyment is a huge motivator. If you find ways to make learning English fun, whether it's through games, watching your favorite TV shows, or even playing English language video games, it'll make you more likely to stick with it in the long run. It's also important to remind yourself why you're learning English in the first place. Maybe you want to travel, advance in your career, or connect with people from different cultures. Reconnecting with your why can reignite your motivation and push you forward, especially when things get tough.
Such powerful advice, Julia. Remembering your personal reasons for learning can provide the drive to keep going, even on the tough days. I also think it's important to accept that there will be ups and downs. Not every day will be a productive day, and that's okay. Learning a language is a long-term commitment, and sometimes progress can feel slow. The key is to keep going, even on the days when you feel frustrated. The important thing is to stay consistent and remind yourself that every bit of effort counts.
Exactly, Adam. It's all about persistence. As long as you keep moving forward, even in small steps, you'll get closer to your goal. And in the end, you'll look back and realize how much progress you've made. Learning English is a journey, and while it can be difficult at times, it's also incredibly rewarding. If you can stay motivated, celebrate the small wins, and keep a positive mindset, you'll find yourself speaking, reading, and understanding English more fluently than you ever imagined.
Well said, Julia. So, to all of our listeners, keep going, stay consistent, and always remember why you started. Whether you're learning with a teacher or on your own, the key is to stay committed, stay curious, and enjoy the process. In our next section, we'll talk about measuring your progress and seeing the real results of your hard work. Stay tuned for more. One of the biggest challenges English learners face is the feeling that they're not making enough progress, even after months or years of studying. It's easy to become discouraged, thinking, "I've been working so hard, but I still can't speak fluently," or "I keep making the same mistakes." The truth is that language learning is a gradual process, and progress isn't always obvious at first glance. However, just because you can't see the changes every day doesn't mean they aren't happening. Julia, how can learners effectively measure their progress in English so they can see the results of their hard work and stay motivated on their journey?
That's such an essential topic, Adam. Many learners underestimate their progress because they focus too much on what they still can't do, rather than celebrating what they've achieved. One effective way to measure your progress is to compare your current abilities with your past performance. For example, if you recorded yourself speaking English 6 months ago, take some time today to listen to that recording again. Pay close attention to the differences. You might notice that your pronunciation has become clearer, your vocabulary has expanded, and your sentences are more structured and fluid. This kind of self-comparison can be incredibly motivating because it highlights the progress that might otherwise go unnoticed. Even small changes, like feeling more comfortable starting a conversation or understanding a native speaker without subtitles, are significant indicators that your hard work is paying off.
That's an excellent suggestion, Julia. Recording yourself is a powerful way to capture the subtle improvements in your speaking skills. Another great method to track your progress is by maintaining a language journal. Writing regularly in English allows you to see how your grammar, vocabulary, and sentence complexity evolve over time. Start by writing a few sentences each day about your thoughts, experiences, or even the new words you've learned. As you fill the pages, you'll notice that your ability to express yourself becomes richer and more natural. When you look back at entries from weeks or months ago, you'll see firsthand how your language use has improved. Writing about the same topic at different times can also show you how your descriptive abilities and fluency have grown.
Absolutely, Adam. Journaling is a fantastic way to reflect on your learning journey and measure tangible progress. Another effective strategy is to test your comprehension regularly. For instance, choose a simple article, podcast, or video today and make a note of how much you understand. Then, revisit similar content in a few weeks or months. You'll likely find that you can understand more without relying on translations or subtitles. This method is particularly useful for tracking improvements in listening and reading comprehension. The key is to challenge yourself with slightly more difficult materials over time. Starting with beginner-friendly content and gradually moving to intermediate and advanced topics can show you just how far you've come.
I completely agree, Julia. Incrementally increasing the difficulty of the material you consume is a great way to push your boundaries while also measuring your growth. Another useful tool is taking online language proficiency tests periodically. Websites like Duolingo, Cambridge, and the British Council offer free tests that evaluate your reading, writing, listening, and speaking skills. By taking these tests every few months, you can see measurable improvements in your scores, which can be incredibly reassuring. These tests often provide detailed feedback, highlighting areas where you excel and those that need more practice. This data helps you tailor your study plan to focus on your weaknesses while reinforcing your strengths.
That's an excellent point, Adam. Regularly testing your abilities provides a clear picture of your strengths and areas for improvement. Another effective way to gauge your progress is by setting specific challenges for yourself. For instance, if you've been practicing basic conversation, challenge yourself to have a 5-minute conversation with a native speaker or write a 1-page essay on a topic you're passionate about. Once you've completed the challenge, reflect on how well you did, what you struggled with, and what came naturally. Setting these personal challenges pushes you out of your comfort zone and gives you a concrete measure of your capabilities.
Yes, setting personal challenges can really show you how much you've grown. Another method that often goes overlooked is tracking your vocabulary growth. Using language apps like Anki or Quizlet, you can create digital flashcards for every new word or phrase you learn. Review these cards daily and track how many words you've added over weeks or months. When you look back and realize you've learned hundreds of new words, it's a powerful reminder of how much you've accomplished. Additionally, using these new words in your speaking and writing helps reinforce your learning and boosts your confidence.
Exactly, Adam. Vocabulary tracking is not only useful for measuring progress, but also for reinforcing memory. Another approach is to engage in real-life interactions whenever possible. If you can, join online discussion groups, participate in forums, or attend virtual language exchange events. By engaging in live conversations, you can evaluate how comfortable you feel interacting with others, how quickly you can think of responses, and how well you understand different accents. Real-life interactions provide valuable feedback that's hard to replicate with textbooks or apps. Over time, you'll notice that what once felt intimidating now feels more natural, which is a huge indicator of progress.
Absolutely, Julia. Engaging with real people, even online, can boost your confidence and show you how practical your skills have become. Another way to measure progress is by revisiting old learning materials. If you have an English textbook, audio lessons, or exercises you used when you first started, try going through them again. You'll likely find that what was once difficult is now much easier, and that you can complete exercises more quickly and accurately. This kind of reflection helps you appreciate the strides you've made and gives you the motivation to keep pushing forward.
That's a fantastic suggestion, Adam. Revisiting old materials really highlights how far you've come and reinforces your confidence. Lastly, it's important to celebrate milestones, no matter how small they may seem. Did you manage to watch a whole movie in English without subtitles? Celebrate that. Did you understand a native speaker without asking them to repeat? That's worth celebrating too. Recognizing these achievements not only boosts your morale, but also reminds you that progress is ongoing. Keep a list of these milestones so you can look back and see all the victories you've had along the way.
Absolutely, Julia. Celebrating your progress is crucial for staying motivated and committed to your language learning journey. Remember, language learning is a marathon, not a sprint. Each step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goal of fluency. Whether you're noticing improvements in your listening skills, finding it easier to read, or feeling more comfortable speaking, every bit of progress counts. Keep tracking, keep challenging yourself, and most importantly, keep going. In our next section, we'll discuss how to stay motivated even during challenging times. So stay tuned for more valuable tips. Wow, what an incredible journey we've been on today. We've explored a lot of important ideas about learning English, and I hope everyone has found something useful. Let's take a moment to review the key points we've covered. First, we discussed the traditional way of learning English with a teacher and how that has always been the norm. Teachers provide essential guidance, structure, and feedback that many learners find invaluable, especially at the beginning. But, as we've seen, self-learning is also a viable option, especially in today's world where technology provides an abundance of resources. We looked at how tools like apps, AI-powered tutors, and online platforms like YouTube and podcasts can make learning more accessible, flexible, and tailored to individual needs. Self-learners enjoy the freedom of studying at their own pace, but as Julia mentioned, the challenge is staying consistent and motivated without someone there to hold you accountable. We also talked about how technology in 2025 has transformed language learning. From interactive chatbots to language learning apps like Duolingo and Babbel, the options available now are far more advanced than just a few years ago. They offer a more personalized, engaging learning experience that helps you practice skills like speaking, listening, and writing, skills that were harder to develop before. But we also acknowledge the difficulties of learning without a teacher, like the lack of immediate feedback and the challenges of staying motivated. So, it's important to create your own structure, track your progress, and use a variety of resources. Ultimately, the decision between learning with a teacher or on your own comes down to your personal preferences, goals, and learning style. There's no one-size-fits-all solution, and that's okay. What matters is that you continue to learn, no matter the method.
That's right, Adam. It's all about finding what works best for you. Whether you're learning with a teacher, on your own, or using a combination of both, the most important thing is to stay dedicated. There will be moments of frustration, there will be challenges, but remember, language learning is a marathon, not a sprint. Take it one step at a time and celebrate every milestone, no matter how small. If you ever feel stuck, don't be afraid to reach out for help. Whether that's through online communities, language exchange partners, or even a teacher when you feel you need guidance, help is always available. And remember, consistency is key. Even on the days when it feels tough, keep practicing. You're making progress, even if you don't realize it right away. Finally, I'd like to remind everyone that learning English is not just about memorizing rules and vocabulary. It's about connecting with the world, understanding different cultures, and opening doors to new opportunities. So don't be too hard on yourself and enjoy the process. Every bit of effort you put in today brings you closer to becoming more fluent tomorrow.
That's such a perfect way to end, Julia. To all our listeners, whether you're just starting your English journey or you've been learning for a while, remember that every step counts. Stay motivated, try different methods, and find the approach that works best for you. We're all on this journey together, and we're so glad you joined us for today's episode.
It's been a pleasure, Adam. And to our listeners, thank you for being a part of this conversation. Keep practicing, stay consistent, and always remind yourself why you're learning. You're capable of achieving your goals.
Absolutely. We'll be back soon with more tips, strategies, and inspiration for your English learning journey. Be sure to join us for the next episode. Until then, keep learning and stay motivated. Goodbye and take care.
Goodbye, everyone. Keep up the great work, and we'll see you next time.